All right, let's begin the conversation with an understanding that advocacy remains a crucial approach to raising awareness and influencing behavior. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubaida Umar, has directed all NEMA officers covering communities along the River Niger to up their game in preparation for floods. According to the directive, all personnel are required to embark on intensive sensitization of communities and advise the residents in high-risk floodplains to evacuate to safer and higher grounds, especially those in Kebbi, Niger and Kwara State. This directive follows alerts of rising water levels upstream of the river in the Republic of Benin. The River Niger has long been a vital source of water for agriculture and a means of livelihood through fishing for communities. But when this water rises, it takes everything along its path. Very scary one, and also trying to be proactive. But Biko, with the activation of flood preparedness by NEMA, what should citizens do to complement it to avert flood disaster?
Well, state governments have to move quickly. People have to be relocated. Every year they do this in Lagos in anticipation of maybe the opening of the Onyo Dam,
Okay.
or even just rising water levels generally. So we shouldn't wait until disaster comes before we take action. Look at what happened in Mokwa.
Yes.
It caught everyone by surprise.
Sure.
More than 3,000 people displaced. More than 200 people dead, because officially government talked about 210 people dead. And you and I know that when you hear 210 people dead from official sources, it could even be more than 300. So this is the reason we have to be ready, we have to prepare. And fairness to NEMA, NEMA had been warning, NEMA had been trying to prep state governors to do something. Every state should have a very solid disaster response team that will ensure that, yes, we cannot stop these disasters from happening, but at least we can mitigate the effect of such disasters by activating our early warning system and relocating people from flood-prone areas. Look at Kebbi now, a major rice-growing state in our country. Farmers lost their farmlands. These are the kind of things that can drive people to suicide. All of the year's work suddenly gets washed away by running water. Nobody wants to be in that kind of situation. There are many reasons why this kind of flood disasters happen. We are felling trees indiscriminately. Exactly. We don't know that these trees are our first defense.
Sign of learning defense.
They are first defense. We do not care. We are felling trees indiscriminately to make charcoal. We are building on floodplains. The lesson from Borno State is what everyone should take seriously, because Borno has now had to relocate people from some of the natural path for running water, where some of them built houses and their houses were washed away, people lost their lives. So Borno has had to rebuild roads because roads were washed away.
Yes.
I'm impressed with the way they have responded to adversity, but steps must be taken to ensure that even if it happens again, because we cannot be too sure that this natural disasters can happen.
Yes.
You know, but we have to be ready. What steps are we taking? How much of the desilting of this same River Niger are we doing? How much of it are we doing? Even the dams. How much of the desilting of the dams are we doing? We talk about every year The Cameroonians, they open the Lagdo Dam. What are we doing to build collector dams?
Exactly.
Along the part of River Benue, so that because River Benue is usually the first hit. Once it's opened, you see that those disasters are usually very, very rampant. The destructions are usually rampant in Benue, in Taraba, in Adamawa. All of these places, River Benue passes through all these places. So since we know that, okay, this is what will happen, whether we like it or not, they must open the dam. The alternative to opening up the dam is for the dam to break. And if the dam breaks, it's worse. Everything along these parts will be washed away. So we need to build those collector dams. We've been talking about it for years. In our country, governments will talk about a project, another government will come, it will not do the project, another one will come, it will still not do that project. We need to stop that.
Absolutely.
We need to stop that.
Absolutely. Emeka Matunago, well, for those who will now ignore these early evacuation warnings and they are at risk of being trapped, what should NEMA be telling them?
Well, NEMA keeps giving its warnings. The NEMA does its own by giving early warning signals, by issuing alerts on weather patterns and things like that. Yes, which is quite commendable. But the people also need to be sufficiently informed to appreciate these warnings. It's not as if they don't hear, because when you go around places, you hear people discussing these things. So, of course, you have more TV stations, more radio stations. Sure. You have social media. So these things, even on newspaper stands, people discuss these things. Talk about these things a lot. So what it means is that the awareness is there. A lot of people hear these things. And you also have influencers, different kinds of people who put this information across, social media. But the thing is that the people will tell you that they will ask, where do you want them to go to?
Which is a valid question.
So what it means is that government, the states should ramp up their emergency management agencies. Okay. It should not just be about NEMA, because it appears that NEMA is the only, effective management agency in Nigeria. Talking about, when you look at NEMA vis-a-vis the states, even the local governments. I know that some states are trying, but those states that know that their people are at risk on a regular basis should activate early response mechanism, relocate the people. As a matter of fact, states should prioritize the building of shelters, emergency shelters. You have these things. You have these things, in a number of countries. In the United States, you have these things in Israel. Where are those shelters? When there are those, when the sirens ring out, where are those shelters? They are the shelters that people run to. So where are those shelters in Nigeria? So if we can, for instance, emulate like Israel, have sirens or things like that, so that when things like this start building up, you can start blowing sirens. You can start blowing sirens, because sometimes these things even happen in the night. As sophisticated as U.S. rescue efforts are, look at what happened in Texas not too long ago. But, with climate change, the way the weather can change, the way floods, can suddenly just gain strength and impact and overrun areas that you never expected that these things will happen. We must always be on the alert. Yes.
Absolutely. Beautiful one. And also they need to look at the lessons learned from the 2022 flood disaster, 2023 flood. They need to look at the lessons and improve on it. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. Falling prices of food items may come as a cheering news to the buyers, but they bleed the farm. Farmers across Nigeria are reportedly lamenting huge losses following heavy spending on seeds, fertilizer,